Hey guys, Chris from Harmony Turbines here, coming at you with another episode in our continuing saga, the story that is Harmony Turbines. In front of me, I'm sitting around a machine that you might not have seen before in any of our videos. I don't know that we've ever shown it, maybe we have, but 2 years ago, we were talking a lot about our patented generator and how we would be incorporating our patented generator in with Harmony, but then after several months of R&D and working on it, we were like, you know what, this is going to take too long. It could be 2 or 3 years of solid development before we get our generator to the point where we could put it out in beta. And we didn't want to hold up the entire Harmony project because of that. So we shifted gears and we started looking at off-the-shelf generators in an attempt to make our production units or the beta units that we were going to be coming out with for Harmony able to be brought out sooner. And that push for an off-the-shelf generator was probably an 8-month journey. We got maybe 13 different generators over the course of 8 months. We tested all of them, and in each and every case they were disappointing because most of the disappointment is that they're all made for a much higher RPM range than what we have with Harmony itself. Several of them that we paid quite a bit, even more than $2,000 per, were rated for lower RPMs, but still needed to be geared up to some degree. And then that adds complexity because you're putting a chain drive on or a belt drive on or a tooth pulley or something like that. And it's a lot of minutia. It's a lot of messing around to, in the end, get a product out to you that we want to keep the price down to a reasonable rate. You know, we can't have a $2,000 generator on a turbine that we're trying to sell for, you know, $6,000. It's just a third of our price right there, wrapped up in the generator. So we've been working nonstop on trying to solve this issue. And finally, a breakthrough came in some of the work that I was doing with one of the generator companies, looking at how we could actually make the coils and work with them to get the coils incorporated into our generator. We came up with a way to actually print our own bobbins in a very, very rigid way. So we have now the ability to 3D print our bobbins that they're not going to have layer separation issues. So these bobbins are much, much stronger than anything that we were able to print before, because we've got, I don't even know if they're up here. They're probably, yeah, here they are. They were breaking and having all kinds of layer separation issues and just not, there's a lot more, many more that were thrown away. These bobbins are not doing that. I mean, I'm pulling on this thing way more than the wire is ever going to pull on it. And they're basically solving one of the big hangups that we had. We thought we were going to have to go through a molding process with a third-party company, and you have to tool it up and get injection molds and everything. It was a mess. But with having our own ability to do our bobbins for low volume, prototype and low volume production, this could solve a huge problem that we had. This little machine is our coil winder that we bought 2 years ago, and it allows us to wind coils very, very precisely for the exact number of turns. It's a CNC winder, so it actually moves back and forth as it's winding. We're going to show that to you here and let you see. I won't do the whole coil, but I'll let you see how it winds it. Basically, once you have it programmed, it's just like a program on the CNC machine. So why don't you come on over here and catch it on the front, and we're going to show you how this begins. So guys, you can see how that's very precisely winding. So if we can make our own coils, we have the ability to now set these in resin. We've already done that part. We also have third-party companies. We're working with one out of Ohio that could do the resin casting for us. What this does for us, it's a huge, exciting change because we never had this ability before. With our own generator testing that we were doing a year ago, we were looking at all kinds of problems with the coils, with the bobbins. We've solved like all of them, literally, in the past month. And to that end, we're looking at simplifying a generator design not to be the one with our variable air gap. So our patented generator with a variable air gap will be kind of still on the back burner for later development. But what we could do is make air coils with our axial flux generator design and deploy them in our turbines that we currently have. So we're going to take you over here. Follow me. We're going to show you something really, really cool. So guys, one of the other issues that we ran into, and this was many, many months of testing and working with these companies, these generator development companies would often give us specs for a generator that were absolutely crazy. In fact, I'm not even going to show you that, but I was able to finally have an accurate predictive algorithm built that into a spreadsheet that we could precisely tell what these were going to do and how many turns we have on them, what kind of gauge wire we have in them. We worked and worked and worked with different companies trying to get them to be able to produce a generator in the range that we wanted. And it's just like they could only do it within a parameter window that was too small, too narrow for what we needed. So what we've done here is made a very small mock-up to test. So we can just release these two toe clamps, pop this little coil out, put a new coil in there with different numbers of windings, different number of turns, and then we can test this very quickly with nothing more than a hand drill. And this is a really crappy meter. It doesn't, well, it's not crappy, it's a good meter, but it doesn't have low enough resolution. So you're not going to see the resolution that we want. But this should, at around 250 RPM, which is about right there. I don't know where our potentiometer is, or our, I don't know where our meter is to see how many RPMs we're doing, but we can see on here the voltage that we're making with that coil. This allows us to basically lock in on the number of turns, the size wire, and the exact coils that we need then to put into our generator. So the exciting part in all of this is that we have solved both how to do the bobbins and do our own windings now precisely. We have a company out of Ohio that we can work with to do the resin casting for putting our coils in an array for us so that we don't have to do that here. But in a very limited amount of testing, we could do that here. We have already made 2 of them, so we can do our own casting. It's just a messy, involved process. And then the third thing is the predictive modeling for how all the coils are going to work in the full generator. So at this point, we've got all the pieces we need to actually build our own generator, a simplified version of our generator, and move forward with that. No gearing, no 3-to-1 ratio or a 5-to-1 ratio, just basically straight 1-to-1 right off the shaft from Harmony into the generator that we're designing. So that's a huge leap forward for us, in that all the other off-the-shelf generators could never ever meet the 1-to-1 ratio that we were really going after. So this is just one of the 3 things that we were working on. The other is the wind tunnel testing, and that's coming along. We've got a number of videos that we're going into that. And then the other thing is our own charge controller. So this is a really exciting step forward in our generator development, because we don't have to look at just getting something off the shelf, and we don't have to look at doing our own axial flux generator with the variable air gaps. We can make a very simplified version of our axial flux generator to do what we want for early release on the beta units of our wind turbines. So this is exciting stuff. I know it might not seem like it's exciting, but it's very exciting to be able to actually do bobbins that are going to hold together and be reliable, to be able to put them in and predictively say how many turns, how many windings we need with the magnets we have, with the diameter of the generator. All of that now is solved, that we have a complete algorithm that we can say this is exactly what we need to wind, and it should perform thusly in the generator. So it's like, I don't know why that stuff took forever. The companies were either not wanting to speak about how they come up with those algorithms, or they themselves didn't understand it. A lot of them just use programs that have been written 40 years ago and equations that were written 40 years ago, and they're in their software, and they don't really understand how to move beyond the parameters that are allowed. So we can move beyond whatever parameters we want, because we have the raw algorithms now underlying everything that we can basically change any of the parameters that we want. So in many ways, this little test rig and the predictive spreadsheet that I've done over there, the coil winder and the bobbins are all tying together for a very nice pink bow on this generator gift from the universe, I'll say, because it's really kind of fallen into our laps at a time when we need it, when we really have been looking hard for the right solution for our generator. So more to come on this as we push forward. It's just literally 2 days since we cracked both the predictive algorithm and got the coil winder set up. And I printed 9 of these bobbins yesterday. They are perfect, so you're going to see a lot more of this as we push forward with it. Exciting stuff, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for following with us, for being on this journey. Our Patreon subscribers, our investors, our YouTube subscribers, you make this channel, you make what we're doing possible. So thank you. We're doing our best to give you everything that we can, a reliable, affordable product that in the end you're going to be thrilled with. And that's our goal. So Chris from Harmony Turbines saying thank you. Talk to you soon. See ya. Harmony Turbines. We now have the power to change the world.